We've talked on a number of occasions with several parties, including those representing law enforcement, discussing the notion of addiction and trying to break that cycle locally. Of course, we've talked before with Police Chief Blocker and Sheriff Saxton and the folks from Summit Point, and how they have been working to try and address a need for addiction treatment locally. And so we have seen, certainly, law enforcement trying to work in various ways to try and help in these situations. Now we learn of something called the Angel Program under the auspices of the Michigan State Police. And Trooper Kristi Angelo is here today to talk to us about that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the time today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Start right at the beginning. What is the Angel Program?
Well, MSP has partnered with the Police Assisted Addiction Recovery Initiative. It's called the PARI, P-A-A-R-I, and also the Department of Health and Human Services, and then also with our prepaid inpatient health plans, the PIHP.
Lots of letters here, yeah.
There are lots of letters there. And so it started actually in 2016 up in the Gaylord Post area and kicked off into our 8th district. And it's becoming statewide. And we are going to be kicking it off around Labor Day. So we're looking for Angel volunteers. And Angel volunteers are people that are civilians. And they will go through training. The community service troopers, which is what I'm assigned to now,
right,
will be doing the training. And what it is if somebody comes into the post between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and they have it's addiction to you can have alcohol, opioids, amphetamines, whatever the addiction there with substance use disorders, and ask for help. You can come in, you can turn your substances in, and there's not going to be an arrest. You're coming in, you're saying, we want help. And that starts the process rolling with, law enforcement, getting a hold of doing the intake and then getting a hold of an Angel volunteer in order to help that person work through the process of getting into treatment.
I presume that this tries to negate any sort of concern someone might have who says, I have an addiction problem, but if I show up, I'm going to be arrested and there's going to be trouble.
Right, and that's not going to happen. What we're trying to do, we want to, we support a three-prong approach in combating illegal drugs. There's enforcement, prevention, education, and treatment. And we say we can't arrest our way out of it, and we also can't turn a blind eye to the crimes that are committed while somebody is struggling with addiction.
Right.
But if this person comes in and says, hey, you know what, I have a problem and I want help, they can bring that in. It's helping in several different ways. One is we're getting the substances off the street. The person's coming in without fear of being arrested, and they're going to have somebody to help them navigate the system in order to get into treatment. And
they're addressing the root cause of their problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that they're seeing it. And a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever tried to navigate the system as far as getting into, getting someone help. It's a very difficult, frustrating at times thing to have to do. So if you are somebody that's struggling with the disease addiction and you're trying to get that help, many times it's so frustrating, it's like, I can't do this.
Makes it insurmountable.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the Angel goes through training, and, they have the numbers that they can reach out to and help that person navigate the system. And then they also will be able to transport that person to where they may be able to find. And ideally, if you can find inpatient treatment is what we're looking to do. And we are going to be having, with our Angels, I'd like to. We're trying to get at least 10 angels.
Okay.
Ideally, maybe more. And what we would like to see is that, well, not like what we like to see. What we will be doing is we're going to partner 2 angels together. So it's not one angel doing the transporting.
I see. So there can be support system for them too.
Absolutely.
So as Trooper Angelo said, there's an opportunity then for folks to become trained angels who would help folks who step forward with a problem with addiction navigate this process. Do you find that most people who are in this position are concerned about punitive results to stepping forward? In other words, they're afraid they're going to be arrested.
Absolutely. So that's part of it. They can come in. It's completely voluntary. So if they come in and they relinquish the drugs or substances, and they decide 4 hours later or 3 hours later or somewhere along the lines, on the way through transport, that they don't want to do this, they can't be forced.
Yeah.
But then we're not going to go back and say, well, now we're going to arrest you. It's not going to work that way. Primarily, like I said, it's to get the person help, but also get these substances off the street.
Mm-hmm. It really is a situation in which, and you said this at the outset, you can't arrest your way out of this.
No.
So someone who's addicted, who is desperate, and commits a crime in order to get money to buy, this is part of a cycle. To some extent, they're having trouble controlling that. They're addicted.
Absolutely.
So this helps recognize that. And we've seen this sort of develop over the last several years in law enforcement, in the courts, with the drug treatment court situations and things, where law enforcement has become, and the legal system has begun to realize that just throwing people into a lockup doesn't address the real issue, does it?
No, and I actually am a very big proponent of the treatment courts.
Yeah.
There's different treatment courts, and I sit in on both the drug court and also the mental health court.
Mm-hmm.
So they can be very successful, and they learn structure and different things and coping skills. So it's a set process. Which is great because they've committed a crime. They have a chance to many times have that expunged. It doesn't always work that way. It depends on the situation,
Sure.
Each individual situation. But they're awesome programs.
Mm-hmm. And so this one is another one that works similarly in that you're trying to encourage someone to change their life.
Right, and when that person gets to the point where they say, you know what, I'm tired of being sick, I want help, and we recognize that it is a disease, before they commit the crime or before, other things happen, they're saying, I'm surrendering this to you, can you help me? So law enforcement is the first step. We take that, do the intake process, and then contact an angel who then works with them, like I said, to navigate a system that can be very confusing at times.
So if someone's listening now and they are interested in knowing more about what's required of them as an angel, are there qualifications that you look for? Here's
our angel description. We want reliable, obviously non-judgmental and compassionate people. Flexibility is you have to have flexibility in the position, ability to stay calm under pressure, in difficult situations, willingness to assist in some additional tasks as needed. All angels must sign applicable angel program paperwork, including confidentiality in different liability release forms, which covers them. The requirements are you have to be 21 years of age, have a valid driver's license, registered insured vehicle that's in good operating condition. They're going to be providing transportation to treatment centers or to the participants. They pay for required meals and lodging up front, and then what they do is ask for a reimbursement, which it can take up to 60 days, but they are reimbursed for their mileage and their meals. We do a criminal history background check on them. Someone in recovery needs to have at least 2 years in recovery. We're going to have mandatory training, so they would have to do the mandatory training. Reliable contact information, a phone or email, ability to provide schedules, and their availability, so
Sure.
it's flexible, and then fill out and sign required paper form. So the primary responsibilities would be, we want them to be within 1 hour of the post.
Okay. The marshal
Listen
post.
and engage with the participants, provide resources and encouragement, and assist the participant in filling out the program paperwork.
Okay.
And then doing the transport, and we only give first names, so it's not like they're connected to them forever. It's to get them in a place where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. And the process goes on from there. But
Right.
this obviously has been identified as a critical place. As we've discussed before, someone might be scared they're going to be arrested.
Exactly.
And you're saying, no, if you're going to volunteer yourself and turn over your drugs and say, I need help, then there's not going to be a punitive aspect of this. But also, navigating this process and getting there, these are obviously the things that folks have the most trouble with. So the angels will really help with that. And then they're done, and maybe there's another case that comes along.
Right, each time. So that's why we want to have at least 10 angels, and their schedules, provide what they can do, what hours they're available, and be able to work it. And like I said, we're doubling up with the angels as far as being able to transport. So
Okay, so that you have an angel for an angel as well.
Right. I mean, it's just smart to do it that way.
Absolutely. All right. So if you'd like more information, or you'd like to step forward and say, I'm interested in the training or learning more, all you have to do is call the Marshall Post, and that's 269-558-0500 for the Michigan State Police Post in Marshall, the collaborative police post there where the Sheriff's Department is, and the Michigan State Police.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's where you'd call, 558-0500. Indicate that you're interested in the Angel program, and they'll put you in touch with Trooper Angelo.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on this. This is a nice thing, and obviously it started up north, but the value of it has been recognized.
Yes.
And now
It's spreading out throughout the state,
Yeah.
each district. So we're pretty excited about it.
All right. Thank you for telling us about it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Trooper Kristi Angelo, Michigan State Police. Again, that number at the post is 558-0500.